Good afternoon to YouTube and welcome back to Fat Cat Collection. So today, just a total random video. You guys know I don't do a lot of vlogs on the channel. I'm pretty much always reviewing a product or giving information out about watches or whatever. But I just wanted to, I was watching some YouTube videos today, and I do get, asked a question a lot of times about starting a YouTube channel and kind of, getting involved in this whole influencer kind of thing. I'll tell you that the road is extremely slow with this kind of stuff. And, most people never really achieve the level to have this be their full-time gig, their only gig. I don't really foresee, as much as I'd hope, I don't ever really foresee in my lifetime my channel getting to that point, unless, of course, something, insane happens, right? It would have to be something along the lines of maybe there's, and I don't know this, I have found that as my channels become larger, it becomes larger quicker. The road to get to where I'm at here was a 10-year journey, right? And the thing is, it hasn't really been a job for me because I see the slow progress. And honestly, I like putting up videos and I like, working with different companies. And as I said before in other videos, I don't do this out of the goodness of my own heart. This is a business, a very teeny small business. But it is, right? I would be a liar to say that I don't like getting sponsorship, right? Who doesn't like free stuff, right? And I feel extremely fortunate that, companies like what I have to say. Sometimes I watch my videos and I'm like, man, that's terrible, because I don't edit, and you guys know I'm pretty much raw when I do a video. I want it to be really just, I want you guys to see just how I am. Like, it's not edited, it's not scripted. This is how I talk. And you can either like that or hate it. You can watch, move on. Nobody's forcing you to watch me make a video, right? And so, if you do appreciate what I say, you do like the products, then fantastic. But I'll tell you that I do find it, I am honored and kind of humbled by the fact that, I'm not like a super highly educated person. I don't think that I articulate, as well as others out there, and maybe it's because I don't script the videos, but I want you guys to see how I am like on just a normal everyday basis. Sometimes I'm doing a video and like my contacts are bothering me. I'm like, trying to move them around. I mean, it's blurry sometimes. The lighting's not always great, but this is my channel. This is how I like to do it. And to be honest with you, I don't want to put up a video, have something come into my head, want to talk about it, and then have to spend hours in editing, right? I don't think the reward is that much better by me putting up a video that's scripted. I look at other channels, where guys will go through all the process to make this amazing video. And there's still channels that are super popular and channels that aren't. So either you relate to the person talking to you and you like what they have to say, and you like watching the person, or you don't. And there's no amount of video editing in the world that's going to make you like me or want to listen to me, right? And so that's kind of like how I like to do it. I can pump up videos quick, I can put them out there and give you guys me, right? So so if you're still watching, I want to talk about the term self-made, and I just find it really comical, and I just want to give you guys my thoughts on it because people do ask about the YouTube thing and how do you, and I see a lot of Invicta guys who, I remember when I first started reviewing, it was mainly Invicta. Now it's branched off into all kinds of stuff, right? And to be honest with you, the reason for that is because I like a lot of cool different things, and I can't really just, make a channel. I did start 21 Jewels and Fragrant Juice, but my baby's still Fat Cat Collection, so those things kind of get put on the back burner. So I don't know, it's fun to share this stuff with you guys, but it is, unless you don't. Like, if you really like it, it's just not really a big deal to put up a video. If it's something that becomes a chore, you're not going to do it, right? It's too much work. It's, too much time invested to do it, right? So, with that being said, a lot of guys, they think that because you have a YouTube channel, and my channel's got 17,000 subscribers, it's not huge by any means, it's relatively small, but it's not a small feat to get there, right? And it just kind of depends on your content. Now, I can guarantee you that if you are a young girl in your 20s who's attractive and you make a channel about something that guys like, trucks, cars, guns, knives, smart home tech, whatever it is, your channel is going to blow past mine in a relatively short amount of time. That sex will always sell. It just does, If you are I see these girls, and don't get me wrong, there are some I still watch, but well-endowed girls, you if you're well endowed and you're a lady and you're nice to look at and you do a YouTube channel on anything, you are going to get subscribers. You are going to get a following. That's just the way it is. That's unfortunately, us greasy males will watch that, right? And so it's different for guys doing a YouTube channel, right? Now, if you're in the fitness industry and you have an amazing body, right, you can then give advice. It doesn't matter if that genetically came from you. I think it's really funny a lot of times in the fitness industry too. There's so much misinformation out there. Again, you have to discover what works for you, okay? I hear guys all the time, you know, when you watch pro bodybuilders and athletes talk about what they do. If you ever look at like diets, right, and you look at, you know, give me the optimum diet, you'll never find one optimum diet laid out for you that's a guarantee to work. You have to kind of figure out your own metabolism, your own genetics, figure out what works for you. And that's, you know, you can look at the best. Here's a perfect example, right? I just bought a set of gym rings. So you guys know I mentioned before I work out, I have a little home gym, very small garage, right? So my garage is maxed. I would love to have a big giant home and a giant huge garage. I live in about 1,200 square feet. Again, property value's gone through the roof where I live. I'm in a good spot, but and I love my place. But you know, I think as humans, a lot of us are always guilty of more, right? Myself included. I try to remain. You know, I try to remind myself that I'm lucky to have what I have, right? Because every day is a gift. You know, it's a different conversation. But you know, so I'm always looking for inexpensive, affordable ways to change up my workout routine, to make it different, fun, and hit the muscles in a different way. So I did just recently buy gymnastic rings, and this is a perfect example. If you ever watched an Olympic athlete, it's easy to look at something on TV and say, oh, that's not that hard. I'm not a weak guy by any means. I'm not in the best shape of my life. There are guys out there with way better builds, but I'm not in bad shape either, you know, and definitely for my age. And I keep striving to get better, you know, and so the rings are fantastic. But I can tell you that seeing somebody do something on TV and you actually trying to duplicate that, it's night and day different. So me watching a pro athlete talk about how they got to their point, they've been doing that their entire life to get there. You can look at guys on, you know, with the fitness industry. I know this conversation isn't just about fitness. It's about, you know, self-made is the term I want to focus on today. Is that guys who have amazing builds, and you don't know how they got there. I've seen plenty of dudes back in the day when I actually went to a gym that, you know, you'd see them. I saw them a year earlier. They were these little 120-pound guys. Next thing you know, they're 170 ripped. That didn't come from hard work. That came from juice. You know, that came from steroids. The road to having an achieve amazing build takes years and years of dedication and proper diet. And no matter how hard you work, you can't outwork a poor diet. Now, you have to find the balance. I don't have the best diet in the world because I like to eat what I like to eat. So the balance for me is saying, all right, I'm not going to have the ripped six-pack, but I'm going to have somewhat of a healthy lifestyle. Try to eat the right things when I can, but still enjoy my pizza, right? You know, I mean, one thing I did cut out completely is no more alcohol. So that's a huge benefit to your health, of course, and of course that allows me to eat more of what I like, right? I would eat less before when I used to drink beer because of all those extra calories. Now I can actually enjoy that, and the benefits from cutting out alcohol is now I'm actually getting more nutrients. So my body has transformed. You know, you're not as bloated. Your skin's better. You're clearer. You know, so again, different subject, but my point is I could look at the guy with the best build on earth, and I don't mean pro bodybuilder, I mean just a guy who's like magazine cover, amazing build. Just because he does a certain workout routine, I could do that for the rest of my life and never look that way. Just like when I look at the Olympic athlete with the rings. Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to, you know, exercise in the rings and build more strength and, you know, improve my joints and, you know, transform my body a little bit. But I could do this every day of my life. I couldn't because of joints and stuff like that. You just can't. It's a young man's game. But I could do that every day of my life, and I'm never going to achieve that. No matter how they say hard work. That hard work doesn't always guarantee you results. It just doesn't. I don't mean to rain on anybody's parade, but I'm never going to be an NBA basketball player at 5'7", right? I'm never going to be a pro bodybuilder. It's not within my genetics to be that. And I'm at the age where that window for anything athletic I can be the best. I can opt to be in the best shape of my life. I can be in good shape of my life for my age at this point in my life. You make the choice of where you want to be. If it's important enough to you, you'll do it. But there are limits. Now, the term self-made, it came up because I was watching a YouTube video and this girl's got this amazing $150,000. I don't know if that's what it actually cost, but I can estimate that's probably what, it's probably accurate. It's a big giant lifted F350, totally custom paint job, custom bumpers, custom made tow hooks, custom made, drop towing hitch. I mean, custom made suspension, lifted 13 inches. I don't know if you know much about trucks, and I'm not an expert at all, but I know to lift a new truck 13 inches, you are looking at over $8,000 to do that. So when you look at all this custom fabrication, totally custom stuff, it's feasible to think an F350, which, I mean, really coming out of the showroom floor is going to run you at 80 grand anyway, right? Pretty realistic. But in this video, and I'm not hating on anybody, I think whatever your situation is life, whatever you're fortunate enough to have been born into or been able to work towards, more power to you. As long as you're a good person, you're kind to one another. I love cars like the next guy. Just because I see somebody with a Ferrari, I'm probably never going to own one, right? But it doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. It doesn't mean I'm not happy for the dude for having it, as long as he's a good person. Now, in this video, the girl seemed really sweet. She was like, be kind to one another. You never know what somebody's going through. And that's something I always say all the time in jobs I've had where I've had coworkers who are, nasty or rude, talking down people. I'm like, you don't know what that person's going through. You might have been the person who pushed them over the edge to something really bad in their life, So just always be conscious of people and what they're going through, or what they may not show on the outside. Now, if they're a jerk, they're a jerk. That doesn't mean take people's bullshit, but don't add to people's nonsense. Don't add to people's issues if they're having any. Now, if they're rude to you, I'm a do unto others kind of guy. If you're nice to me, you're gonna get even nicer back. If you're rude to me, you're gonna get worse back. Do unto others. Now, I know that kind of contradicts with be kind to one another, but if you're going through something, you may not be of the best mood, you may be quiet, but if somebody's got to be flat out take it out on me because of what they're going through, that's where I draw the line. But again, you do you, I'll do me. But my point that was in the video, you don't hear a lot of people say that, and I think it was a really sweet thing to say that. So I instantly I guess my feelings, I don't know this girl, but my feelings towards her was like, it's a really nice, sweet thing today. It didn't seem like the typical Instagram duck lips, selfie queen, right? Which, is, whatever. But my point is, this truck is 150 grand. This is a girl in her 20s. So I commented, a lot of dudes were commenting on this. I said, that's most likely not her truck. And if it is her truck, that's not... She didn't just achieve that. In your 20s, people who are in their 20s, who have a lot of money, who are successful, had a head start to get there. And so that's where the term self-made comes. So I saw another YouTube video where this 18-year-old in high school had a $100,000 truck. And one dude was like, no, he's self-made, bro. It's like, no, bro, he's not self-made. You're self-made when you have absolutely nothing and you've worked those shitty, crummy, garbage jobs to get a little piece of something, where you've clawed through the trenches in order to maybe get a little piece of something, right? Being self-made is not going to college and having the college paid for by your parents. That's not self-made, okay? You may have to do the work, absolutely. Nobody's going to get you the degree, and not that guarantees anything in life, but it doesn't matter whatever you're doing, whatever your path is, you have to go through the trenches and claw through there to get to that point. Now, there are people who are just lucky and they say, I want to be an actor, right? They audition, they become successful, but they still went through the process to get there. But they didn't do it on their own. That's not really self-made. At some point, a child actor would have to have had parents who fit the bill to have, either modeling classes or acting classes, or gone through the process and plane tickets. And there's expenses in order to get this child to these interviews or to these auditions, right? So nobody's really 100% self-made. But there are people out there who absolutely come from nothing, who got nothing. To me, the person who's self-made has absolutely nothing, came from nothing, and somehow was able to make the right moves to achieve something, right? Now, there's different levels of self-made. You could be self-made doesn't necessarily have to be you're a filthy rich person. You know, it could just be that you're living the life that you want to live, and you did that on your own. So we don't always have to go with the extreme on terms like that. You know, self-made doesn't always have to be the extreme. Oh, he's rich. Well, you know, like to me, I'm not rich, right? I don't have, you know, this amazing, like I'm not some famous YouTuber, right? But I feel like, you know, and I don't consider myself self-made at all, because I came from a loving family who helped support me when I failed, when I've gone through hard times. So there's, you know, to be really self-made, you have to be somebody who has absolutely nothing and did it on your own to the level of success where you feel like I've made it. You know, this is enough for me, you know. And I don't really think anybody really gets to that point. I think we're always striving for a little bit more, right? But an 18-year-old kid with a $100,000 truck is not self-made. One way or another, that truck came from somewhere. That truck didn't come from, you don't get a $80,000 truck at 18 years old by working in McDonald's or working as a grocery clerk like I did, you know, or like many people do, you know, that working for $4.50 an hour for your first job, you know. So that's not, you know, that's not self-made. Now, once you get to that point where, in this case, this kid had 1 million subscribers on, or 1 million Instagram followers, at that point, you're self-sufficient. You're not self-made. And so a lot of times it's funny when people get to this level of success and then they say, oh, I did it on my own. So it came from somewhere. Now, if that kid went ahead and worked when he was 16 up to 18 years old, you still wouldn't be able to afford a $100,000 truck. Now, if you had a kid who absolutely came from a very poor upbringing, really has nothing, got that, you know, entry-level job, saved up for maybe a used Honda Civic, and then, you know, did some customizing work or whatever, or maybe he's just funny. Maybe it has nothing to do with cars. Maybe he just started a YouTube channel and, you know, people really like to watch him, or he, you know, started a landscape business. Who knows what it is? But generally, young people who are very successful, who have done that somewhat on their own, are now in this world of influencers and social media stars. That's really the only way you can do that and be self-made, as if you're doing that in your, you know, maybe your bedroom at your parents' house, and you're creating this content and people just like you and you blow up. That's self-made to me. You know, having a $100,000 truck at 18 years old, that kid did not earn the money to buy that truck. I don't know, and this is kind of a back and forth I got with this girl. She was saying, oh, well, for the women, the girl who had the other truck, oh, well, women, you know, hardworking, working class women can afford that. No, a working class woman cannot afford a $150,000 truck. The average median salary in America for women is $43,000 a year. Now, I don't know what world this person's living on, but when you go looking at a $43,000, and even the median for men is about $47,000, I believe. If you go looking at what it takes, and again, it depends on where you live. Where I live, that is not going to get you a home at all. Like, you will not, you can make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. You're not going to be able to afford a home on your own. You cannot go out and spend money in rent and all your other expenses and save enough for a down payment on a home with that amount of money where I live. Now, there are areas in this country where rent is cheaper. Now, I'm fortunate where I got in my home at the right time. And timing really is everything when it comes to, I believe, real estate. You know, I would never have been able to afford where I'm at now in today's prices, right? So if you're lucky enough to live in an area where, and a lot of times when you see people with big homes, even when you look at my town and a lot of towns where there aren't insanely high-paying jobs, you know, when you look at people who have homes that are large and in the $800,000 to $1 million price range, it's because they got in at the right time when that house was about $250,000, $300,000. And due to inflation, due to property increases, due to, you know, stuff like that, it's worth a lot more now. But ultimately, that's great to have, but really, you can't, like, you know, you can't afford to sell it and buy something because you're buying at these modern day prices. So again, getting back to the term self-made, you know, for what I've had, I've worked very hard to get it, but I also come from a loving family who allowed me to save for a down payment when I bought living at home and not charge me rent. So, you know, those are things that all factor into being self-made. And to have an 18-year-old with a $100,000 truck, he didn't get that. The price to buy, let's say his dad owns a custom shop, which most likely is how a lot of these trucks, you know, get built. You know, I'm not saying every truck you see is like that, but when you have something extremely special with a $20,000 expansion under it, and especially when the kid's really young, there are no young self-made people. Again, unless you just are one of those folks who, and again, I'm sure there's other reasons on how people have become self-made and how people have become very successful at a very young age. But as an average, most people who are successful at a very young age, they had a boost to get there. If you start a YouTube channel and you're like, oh, well, I got 1 million people following my diesel channel, right? And you got the truck from your parents, or in the end, I'm not hating, that's fantastic, you know. I got my first vehicle from my parents, absolutely, you know, that's wonderful. Parents love if they love their children and they're successful and they have the means, most parents will help their kids. But I even look around town with guys I know don't make a shit ton of money, and I know they bought their homes pretty recent, and they got homes that are like $700,000, $800,000. Like, dude, you're younger than me, and I know where you work. Like, you had help to get there. You didn't just get that on your own, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't make the terms, don't make these label people with these terms, oh, self-made, when they're really not. I'm sorry, but it's more feasible if I saw a guy who's in his 30s to have a $100,000 truck. And somebody say he's self-made. I don't know his situation, but not the rule, but it's safe to assume. The assumption is that if you have a very young person, most young people don't have $100,000 vehicles unless they come from money. They come from a very successful family who, you know, it's very easy for anybody, because the world we live in likes to live through the eyes of other people. You know, that's why vlogs and I don't watch it and stuff. Despite the fact that I have a YouTube channel, I don't watch a lot of YouTube. You know, when I usually watch YouTube when I need to learn about something or get information on something. I don't watch vlogs. I don't really watch reality show. That's not my thing. The only reality show I actually have watched over the years is two, and it's Pawn Stars. I love that show, and of course American Chopper. Those are the only two, and it's more mainly because of the family interaction. I just like the group of guys. Everything else, it's not really my thing. And so, you know, when you look at people, it's very easy. Again, if you are a young guy and you come from a family who has a successful maybe off-road business, and you got your hands on a used truck, you had the skill set to do all the work yourself, that can save you tons of money. It's possible to have a truck that might, if you want to consider it a $100,000 truck, and I don't know where a lot of times, these labels come from, or these appraisals come from, because, you know, you can look at a YouTube video, look at a finished truck, say that's a $100,000 truck. Maybe if, you know, you're paying for labor, you're paying retail for parts, but a lot of times these guys get these things as sponsorship, and I'm proof of that. I may not have sponsorship agreements from trucks, but I did get a trailer hitch for my Honda, right? I have gotten car audio systems totally sponsored, so, and I'm just a little guy, you know, so when you look at a huge channel, it's a lot easier as you get larger to get a lot more free stuff, right? But, starting out, if you are a young guy whose father has an off-road company, or maybe just you come from money, one way or another you had a boost there to get that stuff. You didn't achieve that on your own. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't those guys, again, who maybe save. I'm a car guy. I got my first brand new truck at, was about 20, but I sold a truck that my parents bought me to help get that truck, you know. So again, I didn't just do that on my own. The wheels, all that stuff I did. You know, I saved my money and got that, but I was living at home to get that, and I could afford to do that at that age with what I was making. So again, that's not self-made. That's having the help, having the support to achieve something that you want to get or achieve a goal, right? And so this kid could be obviously 18, probably living at home. Maybe has a job, working for, you know, maybe getting a better wage in your $4.50 an hour or your normal job, right? Most college kids are, you know, not making a lot of money. Again, depends on where you live, but, you know, probably 15 bucks an hour if they're lucky, And so let's say you're making that, you're living at home and you're saving all your money and you're putting all your money into this vehicle, then, you know, maybe you can achieve that, you know, but not $100,000 you can't. You have to work your entire, I mean, just to do the math in that, if you have a truck that costs $150,000 on a 60, first of all, you won't even get approved for the loan on something like that. If even a bone stock truck that you're going to do the work on, it's, let's say, $60,000, you're not going to get approved for the loan on that, making $15 an hour. Even if you were able to get your parents as a co-signer, you're still looking at a $60,000 car payment on, even if you're stretching it out to 7-year loan, right? you're still looking at over $800, $900 a month. So, you know, it's just not, just do the math in it. It's not realistic. These kids are not self-made. And when you see big trucks like this, you know, YouTubers are trying to get you to watch the video and saying, oh, this girl, look at her $150,000 truck. No. It's not her truck. In this situation, this truck was featured in SEMA. You are not a 25-year-old girl who suddenly has a successful off-road company and you're self-made and did that on your own. You're just not. That you had help from somewhere. Somebody got you to that point to achieve that goal. In most cases, when you see these young guys, these pretty girls driving these insanely expensive trucks or anything, Ferrari, anything, they came from money. They're extremely lucky, but most of the time they came from money and they have somebody you know, in their family who's helped them out to get that truck, get that car. Or, of course, a lot of times you don't know what you're watching. A lot of times men own these vehicles and they stage stuff up where they claim the girl owns it and let her drive it here. You know, it's all about getting views and you really don't know what you're watching. So my only point is the term self-made, let's really not throw that word around, throw that phrase around too loosely. And remember, when you're watching things, not everything is what it seems. And when you're doing anything that's internet related, the time frame is, you know, I mean, at least for me, extremely slow. And, you know, maybe if I had some, you know, chicks in this office here when I'm reviewing a watch with some double Ds, I'm sure the channel would do a lot better, but that's not my style. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Thank you for watching me rant about it. If you have any questions about starting a YouTube channel, I'm always looking to help, but I'm not going to give handouts, of course, so I'm not going to plug you on the channel just because you asked me. I'm not going to say his name, but anyway, guys, I'm always here to help you guys. If you have any questions about starting a YouTube channel, it's become a lot harder, and there's so many people doing it now. It just seems like people, you know, hey, everybody likes to, you know, try to be self-made, right? I mean, everybody likes to try to have extra income. Everybody likes to try to get free stuff. And it's not, you know, the term free, it's not really free because I'm putting up a video. It's a payment for services. You know, if I'm going to review a video and plug it on my channel or a brand and show you guys the brand and test it, you know, like, that's great for me that I get the, you know, get this, you know, new smart home light bulb, but, you know, it's not free. I'm investing my time to put it on the channel. So one way or another, it gets paid for. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you taking time to listen to me discuss that. As always, if you have any questions, drop me a comment, drop me an email. I'm always here to help. Subscribe to the channel. As always, guys, have a great day and take care.